Good evening, Facebook friends, and welcome to our Sunday Night Live. Essential oils are not magic beans. Apparently, I'm having a family reunion. Hello, how are you? You want to say goodnight? Give me hugs. You got milk on your lip. You got a milk mustache. You want to say hi? Can you say hi? Can you say hi?
Hi.
There you go. Okay, good night. I love you. Bye. All right, so we're just a couple minutes away from getting started, or maybe about a minute away. Hey, Jackie. I guess this computer's not on for some incredible reason. Oh, the power went off. That's right. Okay. Well, I have no idea what time it is. Let me peek up here. All right, we got about maybe 30 to 60 seconds. We're just waiting for the time to change right to 9 so that Facebook can let everybody know we're here. It looks like we're starting to get some viewers. So if you're watching the replay later, sometimes it takes us a minute to get started just because it takes Facebook a minute to let people know we've gotten started. So we want to give everybody a chance to find us before we start. So it looks like we're right at 9 o'clock Eastern. So I'm Deanna Nichols, doTERRA Blue Diamond. Hey, Jane. And welcome to our weekly event, Essential Oils Are Not Magic Beans. And tonight we're going to focus on the fact that even though they're not magic beans, they are pretty awesome when you're doing outdoor activities. And what's really awesome is that doTERRA just had a Father's Day little kit that came out. It looks like this. The bag looks like this. And it came with 3 products. It came with On Guard toothpaste in a little travel size, which is really cool. And because I don't like to travel, I like the little toothpaste samples to like give people samples, but I've found that when I travel, I try to take those so it's not heavy. And they're kind of annoying when you travel. They get wet and then it's hard to open them. So I like the little sample sized toothpaste. Hey Mary, hey Kathy. It also came with On Guard dental floss, which I'm kind of hoping will be a permanent item. We don't know yet. And then a thing of peppermint beadlets. But I found that this little case does a lot of stuff. And so I made myself a little outdoorsy pack, and we're going to talk about some of the things that are in here. I like to do stuff outside. I love to hike, and I love to camp. Those are 2 of the things that we do a lot around here. And we just started doing geocaching too. So we're like outside in the woods searching for hidden treasures, literally. And so when you're outside, you definitely want to have your essential oils with you, and you want to be prepared because all kinds of stuff happens. And the one time that I went hiking and I did not have my oils with me, I had a really scary incident, and I will never do that again. I stepped into a hornet's nest, literally, and had 40 hornet stings. And I started having a horrible reaction to the venom, and I did not have my oils in my backpack. And so I don't know what I was thinking, but I will never make that mistake again. I always carry certain oils with me, and this bag is perfect for an outdoor kit. Some of the things in here you could actually put in smaller containers. I'm just trying to show you for the sake of showing you like what the oils look like. And some stuff I already put into smaller containers just so you could see the stuff that you want to be that you want to have when you're outside. So this this container, this Father's Day thing, has 2 sides to it, and on this side there's 2 separate sections that'll fit oils, and I was able to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I was able to fit 14 bottles of oils on the one side, so 7 in each little zipper, and on the other side there's like another little section right here, and I put a bunch of other stuff. So let's start by talking about the stuff that's not oils, that's not necessarily oils. And the very first thing that you never go outside without when you're doing anything outside, whether you're just having a picnic or whatever, is the TerraShield spray. It comes in a drippy bottle, and it also comes in a spray bottle. I love the spray bottle. We keep one in every car. We keep one in every backpack, and so this is definitely a must-have. And I love the new formulation of the TerraShield Outdoor Blend because it has arborvitae oil and cedarwood oil, both of which are amazing for repelling ticks. And so we make sure that we use this, and this is safer for babies and children and other humans than anything else that I've found. Plus it's really effective as well. And so you can spray it. What we do is we spray it in our hands and then sort of rub it all over the places so we don't end up spraying and overusing it and wasting a bunch of it. And that's kind of how we do it. We definitely spray our shoes pretty thoroughly though, because you know, when you're walking in the woods and stuff, you tend to pick stuff up, and we spray our hair and get it all throughout our scalp and hair because things hide in the hair and you don't necessarily see them right away. So TerraShield we love. We have like a bunch of this. So that's in there. The other thing that's here that you may find surprising is a couple of packs of PB Assist Junior. This is our children's probiotic, and the reason I started packing this for outdoor is because my husband recently went to Guatemala, which is an underdeveloped country, obviously, and on the trip, they were able to eat all kinds of food, and everybody took one of these with each meal, and they didn't have any stomach upset. If you don't know how rare that is in places where you haven't built up a tolerance to all the bacteria that's on like the produce and stuff, it's pretty rare to not have stomach issues. And so I just decided that if I was ever in the woods and I had eaten something that didn't agree with me, I certainly wanted to make sure that I had some of this on hand. So PB Assist, and I love how the little packets will just kind of fit in there. I also grabbed a couple of packets of Deep Blue Rub. Of course, you could pack the full tube. I did test it, and the full tube will fit in here. It's just going to be heavy. But if you don't have the little sample packets, you can use the tube. Or I got these little tins from Aroma Tools, and you can put some. I'm having trouble with my thumb. My son decided to pull me by my thumb, and he like did something really bad to my thumb. I have to get it looked at. But you can put some of the Deep Blue Rub in one of these little tins. You can also put some of the Healing Hands Rose Lotion in here, which is really good if you get insect bites or come in contact with a plant that makes you itchy or whatever. The Healing Hands Rose Lotion is really good. So these are just ways I'm not able to close that, but these are just ways to make your pack a little lighter. So these are super light, and you can get probably 2 uses out of these. So for any kind of pain, if you twist your ankle hiking or tweak your knee or your back or something, you've got the Deep Blue Rub packets. You can get those on your loyalty rewards for like $5 for a pack of 10, which is really cool. The other thing is definitely hand sanitizer. I have used this to even clean like eating instruments, like a spoon or something, when I've had to, just in a pinch. But this is basically just water with On Guard essential oil added, and it's going to kill all kinds of germs. So we can spray it on our hands. Obviously, if you can wash your hands with water, at least just water. And then you can spray this afterwards to make sure that your hands are actually sanitized. Okay. The other thing that fits over in this big pouch is a miniature modern essentials guide. You can buy these at Aroma Tools, and it has all kinds of stuff in here. You can look up different issues. So I could look up like gas. Let's say somebody had gas while we were hiking. That would be awkward, right? So it tells you right in here the oils you can use for that. So it's just a handy little cheat sheet that you can carry with you. You don't have to worry about whether or not you have internet to use like an app or something. You have an actual piece of paper type book, and it's really small and it fits right in that pack. The other thing is Correct-X. Correct-X is our petroleum-free natural healing ointment. And this is great for any kind of cuts or injuries or of any kind, abrasions. It's amazing stuff. It's got oils in it that will help to stop bleeding as well. So you definitely want to have Correct-X on hand. What I want to hear from you while you're watching, though, is what your favorite outdoor activities are. Okay, tell me some of the things you like to do outdoors, like kayaking or skiing or whatever. And tell me maybe some like health incidents that have happened to you while you were doing that activity. And I can probably give you some tips on your activity. Fractionated coconut oil, I got a little dropper bottle, and I carry that with me because you never know when you might need some coconut oil. It's good for like a million different things. And so when you're carrying any kind of oils with you, you want to make sure that you have some fractionated coconut oil. There's even a littler bottle than this. There's actually a couple different ones that are smaller. You could even do a roller bottle full of just coconut oil, or gosh, I don't have one right here, but there's these really little skinny spray. Yes, I do have them. Hold on, I'll show you. Sorry for the noise. I just got to open this container. I think I have some in this little, maybe not. Darn it, I thought I did. But there's these little spray bottles that are like this tall, and they're really skinny. They're like maybe as skinny as like a pen, and those are perfect. I just didn't have one on hand really quick. But that would be perfect, and that would take up a lot less weight and space than that would. Of course, the lip balm, doTERRA's lip balm, is fantastic. I've used it for other things too, like just like a cracked, like, if you're out in the cold and you have like cracks in your knuckles and stuff like that from being outside. I've used it for that too. It's got really amazing essential oils in it, and it's very soothing. So you always want to carry the lip balm. I know I was hiking a lot in New Mexico last spring, and I was getting really dry lips and stuff, and so I just learned always carry the lip balm with you no matter what. In a pinch, I have used fractionated coconut oil, but it doesn't work nearly as well as that. Peppermint beadlets. These are just good for like giving you more energy when you're hiking or doing activities. If you're golfing, Georgette says she likes to golf. You're out in the heat and stuff, and so it's very cooling. You can actually take one of the peppermint beadlets. This one's not open yet, but you can take one of the peppermint beadlets and squish it, and then rub that little bit of peppermint on the back of your neck to cool yourself down. If you get like bitten by something, you can relieve the itching by squeezing the little peppermint beadlet and getting that on your little bite area, the itchy area. And this is really light, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. It's not liquid, so it's just really easy to carry with you. Plus, it's great for breath. It's good for breathing. Hey, Tani. You know, so when you're doing some kind of physical activity, it can just help you, with your breathing and stuff too. I always carry lemon. I have lemon in this side because this is what I always add to my water. I have a stainless steel water bottle for hiking and exercising and all the outdoor activities. I don't want to be carrying glass around with me while I'm hiking. This is lighter. It's not going to break, and I don't have to worry as much about the plastic. Unfortunately, it does have a plastic lid. So, I mean, this isn't something I only use for outdoors, not my everyday water bottle, but I got a sports lid so that while I'm hiking and stuff, I can just take a drag of my water. So I keep my lemon because I can refill my water bottle with all kinds of water. If I have a fresh spring, I can fill it up, and then I can feel really confident that my water is clean and purified if I add lemon to it. So I wouldn't drink still water ever. I mean, use common sense. But in a pinch, like, you can refill your water bottle. Even in like national parks, they have water stations where if you're on long trails, they have like a water fountain and you can fill up your water bottle. So always carry your water bottle with you and a bottle of lemon, and then you can know that you're drinking clean water. Somebody said, Patty says she used Correct-X on her dry lips. I've done that before too. It burned like Methuselah. And so I think mine, maybe if you catch it early enough, it might be okay. But I think I was like way past, my lips were like on fire and it burned so bad. But yeah, that has worked, and I've done that in a pinch too. Kayaking, paddleboarding, anything on the water. Yeah, so when you're out on the water, you especially want to be careful of sun. And so there's lots and lots of recipes for natural sunscreen. There is so many horrible ingredients that are in most sunscreens. I've actually talked to a lot of health professionals that believe that the problems that happen with being out in the sun too long on our skin, actually a lot of them are caused by the sunscreen and not by the sun. So we know that overexposure to the sun is not good for your skin. It's going to make you look like leather, and it's not just healthy. So we do want to be protective of our skin. So you can make some of your own sunscreen, and you could also put it in one of these little containers and take that with you. And whatever base, like a lot of them are based in like zinc oxide and other things. And so you can look those up on doTERRA.com. They have a lot of recipes. But as far as what oils you want to put in there, you definitely want to have lavender, and you definitely want to have helichrysum in your sunscreen. I can tell you for sure those two oils need to be in there. They have natural sun protecting qualities in them. So I would definitely include that. And then this other oil goes with me everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if I'm indoors, outdoors, whatever. I know it's hard to see with this light, but it's Immortelle. And it's a beauty blend, but it has all of the like heavy hitter oils. So if anything bad happens, I am going to put Immortelle on it because it's got all the tissue, the oils for tissue. So if I have an injury, and great for pain, great for tendons, bones, just everything that could possibly happen to you, you want Immortelle. So don't ever leave your house without Immortelle. That's what I'm basically telling you. Okay, so this just goes with me everywhere I go. So of course it's in my outside bag. So that's that whole side. The other thing that's over there that I didn't show you is a pair of tweezers. The reason why there's a pair of tweezers over there is because ticks. Okay, so if you ever find a tick that's embedded, by the way, like if you have really done your due diligence on your TerraShield, I don't think you're going to find an embedded tick. I think what you'll find is maybe some crawling around, but they're going to be very heavily deterred by the cedarwood and arborvitae that are in the TerraShield blend. But if by chance somebody doesn't remember to use the TerraShield, or they somehow get a tick embedded and they find one, do not put essential oils on an embedded tick. I know a lot of people tell you to do it. But everyone I've talked to that is an expert on Lyme has said, do not put anything on a tick that's already embedded, that you should remove it as close to the head as possible with tweezers, or they make this little instrument that's a tick remover that's specifically for removing ticks. And then that's why you would want to keep that in your outdoor bag. And then the oil that you would put on after the tick is gone is this one right here, Purify. I do not ever go anywhere without Purify either. It's like my second favorite on-the-go travel oil. And that's the reason why is because it is so great at pulling toxins out. My husband once had a tick embedded in his foot the entire time he drove from like Virginia to Florida, and he didn't know until he got to his destination. It's like a 12-hour drive. He got to his destination, took a sock off because his foot was really hurting, and he had a tick embedded like in between his toes. And that's a long time for a tick to be embedded, regardless of what it says on the internet. I know it's hard to believe that the internet's not 100% accurate. But after we removed the tick properly with tweezers, we then put Purify on it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I would tell you to do that with any kind of bite, but especially a tick. He said that he could feel like something pulling on his, on that area, like stuff was getting pulled out. And there's an oil in here called cilantro that is excellent at getting rid of toxins. There's lots of citrus oils. There's melaleuca. So I would be using this on that site for several days as often as I could. And this is great for any kind of bites at all because it's going to pull out toxins. So that is very, very important. Okay. So I'm obviously in the oil side of my case now. It's hard to hold it up without spilling all the oils. Definitely On Guard is in here. I know I have the On Guard hand sanitizer, but I like this one. And I've actually used this in an emergency on a spider bite. I actually had only On Guard with me in my car, and I went out to my in-laws' property, which is kind of like 50 acres in the middle of a forest. And I was just out there for a short time, and I was about 30 minutes away from like civilization. And I was, we have built this little like memorial garden because that's where my dog is buried. My dog passed away a couple years ago, and we buried her right there by the pond. And so I was just kind of sitting there, kind of paying some tribute to her, sitting on the bench. And this huge spider just came out of nowhere and bit me on the foot. I had flip-flops on, and it was a big one, and it was a big spider bite. And immediately I started to feel it moving up my leg. And I knew that that was not good. So the only oil I had with me in the car was On Guard. And I put On Guard on, and it made a huge difference. By the time I got back to my destination, which was 30 minutes away, I could tell a huge improvement. And I think the reason why is because there's cinnamon in here. Cinnamon is really good for bites and stings. Plus, there's lots of oils that are good for like bacteria and all that stuff too. So it's just a great one to always have on hand with you. I would always carry myrrh as well. And the reason why is because this can act as kind of like a liquid Band-Aid to cover up a wound. If you have like a really open type of a wound after you've cleaned it. Wow, I've got a little insect friend over here hanging out. They're attracted to my light. It's funny. It happens every time I'm on a video. After you've properly cleaned and put like something like On Guard and melaleuca on a wound, you definitely want to cover it up with myrrh so that nothing can get inside there. And it's kind of like a protectant. So myrrh is a good one to take with you as well. Eucalyptus. I like eucalyptus because when you're outside and you know you're going to be outside, I would try to avoid flowery and citrus oils like out on your body. That's not the best time to put those on because it will attract stinging like bees and wasps and hornets and stuff like that. And so one oil that will deter those type of insects is eucalyptus. So what I do is if I'm getting ready to be outside, I will take some in my hand and I will rub my hands together. I'll get it all in my hair, all over my shirt, you know, all that. And so I want them to get away from me. I don't like bees and stuff like that. So eucalyptus is a really good oil. It's also really good for cooling. If your skin is really sensitive, mine's very sensitive. If your skin is sensitive to peppermint, you can get a lot of cooling power from eucalyptus in the same way that people would use peppermint. So you could rub it on the back of your neck, on your back, the backs of your knees to cool yourself down, the bottoms of your feet, and it's not going to irritate your skin the way peppermint might. So it's just a good one to have on hand for that reason. It's also good for breathing. So if anything were to happen and you were to get, maybe you're out in the woods and you started to have some kind of a reaction to a plant or something like that, you could rub some eucalyptus on your chest. You could inhale it from your hands. And then the next thing that you would do is you would take your lemon, lavender, and peppermint under your tongue. when I got stung by the hornets, that's what I did when I finally made it back to my car. Thank God. I put lemon, lavender, and peppermint under my tongue because I wanted them to get in my body really quick, and that's what you need for any kind of a reaction to like insects, food, plants. I did like 2 drops of each under my tongue. If I knew that I was sensitive to different plants, I would probably just do 1 drop before I went outside, just to kind of avoid anything. But in my case, it was like an emergency. It was totally unexpected, and I don't normally have allergies to hornets or anything. And I was able to use lemon, lavender, and peppermint under my tongue in an emergency. You definitely want to have lavender with you anyway, because lavender is like the first one that you would put on any kind of a scrape or insect bite or anything. It's just going to be soothing. A burn, if you accidentally got burned doing something outside like camping, you would always want to use Melaleuca first on a burn to lower the body temperature, to lower the temperature of the tissue, and then lavender to soothe and help it to heal. So Melaleuca on a burn first, and then lavender. And any kind of cut or abrasion, these 2 guys you want to do together. Okay, so this would be a good reason to have your little thing of fractionated coconut oil, because when you're dealing with something that's on the like the top layers of your skin, you want the oils to kind of sit there. You don't want them to go deep down into your tissue. And so that's why you need a carrier oil. And so that's why I like to have it in a spray or a dropper. You can put the carrier oil right on the area and then drip a drop of oil on it. Because if you were using like a roller, then you could contaminate your roller with getting some pieces of skin and tissue inside the roller and contaminate that. So you could make a spray. You could get a little spray bottle and make Boo Boo blend and carry that with you. That would be a really good idea to do. That would be like, you know, maybe 20 drops of lavender, 20 drops of Melaleuca, and like 10 drops of frankincense, and then the rest fractionated coconut oil in a spray bottle. And you could spray that on a cut or an abrasion or something like that. Lemon will help to stop bleeding in a pinch. Lavender will help with that as well. But if you have like really heavy bleeding, what you really actually need to carry with you, and is a big emergency oil, is helichrysum. Helichrysum is like the Mac Daddy of helping things to stop bleeding. If you're ever in an emergency situation and you're bleeding a lot, I've had this actual thing happen in my family. If the person's like bleeding out, you're trying to put helichrysum on that wound, it's like, it's not going to work because the blood's coming out too fast. So what you do is you take the helichrysum in your palm and you rub it over their heart. Okay? That makes sense, right? Because that's what pumps our blood. So this will help to balance your body's like natural clotting factors. That's what you want. So if it's a small area, then yeah, put it on that area. But if it's like gushing blood, on your way to get emergency attention. But I mean, we're talking about being outdoors somewhere where you're not, theoretically, I would think you don't have like a hospital right there. And so in that situation, just keep using the helichrysum over the heart. And and if you can put it on the area, put it on the area or around the area. You don't have to put it right where the blood's coming out, because I just experienced that where it was bleeding way too much. And basically the helichrysum, I was putting helichrysum on blood that had already come out of the body. I needed it to get like on the skin, and it wasn't doing that. So that's how you do it, is you put it over the heart. And I hope that helps somebody to know, because I wish I had known that in that emergency situation. Yeah, I just wish I had known that. Okay. Speaking of emergency situations, if you're ever in an emergency and somebody's like hurt and injured, or maybe they're not the person, like I wasn't even the person bleeding, I was the person taking care of the person bleeding, and that's not my gift in life. Like, you would think that I would be awesome at it, right? Because I know all this information. Yeah, I'm good like on the phone. If you call me and like somebody's bleeding at your house and you call me, I can totally calmly walk you through it. But if I'm there where the like bleeding's happening, forget it. I'm like, I was hearing like zzzz in my head is all I was hearing. And John was there, my husband was there, and he kept having to say, Deanna, Deanna, Deanna. So what you do to that person who's like not responding, they're like in shock, is you get breathe out. And you take it and you put it in your hands, and you rub your hands together and you cup it as close to their nose and mouth as you can. And you get them to breathe that. And it's just, it helps you. I promise you. I was injured about 2 years ago, and my little toe was hanging off my foot. It was like dangling off my foot. And it hurt when I first did it, but then it wasn't hurting anymore. I just looked down, like I was fine, and I looked down and saw my toe hanging off my foot. And again, I heard zzz, and like boom, I hit the floor. And I needed to make it from one end of the house to the other to go tell my husband, like, we need to go to the emergency room. But in the process, I passed out like 6 times. So finally he heard like something hitting the floor, and he came out of his office where he was working, and he found me, and that's exactly what he did, is he did the breathe thing, and that got me to stop passing out long enough to where I could get into the car. So like the time that I was in the woods and I was like, didn't know how I was going to make it out of the woods to get to the car, to get to my lemon, lavender, and peppermint because of the massive reaction I was having. I needed breathe in order to just get myself out of there. Like if I had had my oils with me, that would have been the first oil I would have probably used just to get me to like get out of there, you know, because it's just shock. It's a reaction a lot of people have. I'm not like a trauma surgeon, and I just don't react really well. I'll tell you who does react pretty well though is John. And so if you ever have that incident, he's the person that you want around because he like totally stays calm and can be collected, and I am not. So okay, so pain and like twisted ankles and stuff, you have the Deep Blue Rub, but also I would start by putting on any kind of injury Aroma Touch oil. I would carry Aroma Touch oil because this one will help to get blood flowing and stuff to the area and help it not to get to like edema, you know, where a fluid collects and gets all swollen. So you want to do that first and then put your Deep Blue oil, and if you have your Deep Blue Rub, put that on after, okay? So that's step 1, Aroma Touch. Step 2, Deep Blue oil. Step 3, Deep Blue Rub, okay? And so that's why I carry all 3, because I've just learned that over the years when different things have happened. Definitely Digestin for those incidents like somebody ate the wrong kind of berries in the woods. Okay, that's just an example. Or you just ate something before you went hiking, and now you're hiking and you're nowhere near the nearest bathroom. So Digestin under your tongue. And if you can't handle it under your tongue, I feel sad for you because you probably need it under your tongue in like a quick situation like that. So maybe try to build up your ability to take it under the tongue. How you do that is in regular situations, you would get like a little shot glass. I have a little doTERRA shot glass, strictly for doTERRA, okay? And I would practice taking some Digestin, maybe 1 drop in a shot glass, and then eventually you'll be able to do it under your tongue in an emergency. If you can't handle Digestin under your tongue, that's again where the peppermint beadlets come in. You can take a couple of those in your mouth and you'll be able to tolerate that a lot better than the Digestin. And then of course you can do the Digestin on your belly or on your feet. And then the last oil, of course, is frankincense. When in doubt, get your frankincense out. Whatever's going on, you don't even know what it is, throw some frankincense on the person or on the situation. It's not going to hurt. It's really good for the brain. So if somebody hits their head, you totally want frankincense. And then the second thing you want is Immortelle. Definitely want Immortelle on any kind of a head injury. So let's say you're, somebody mentioned biking, I think, unless I imagined it. I don't know, maybe I imagined it. But if you're biking, one of my friends actually was biking with one of her little kids, and somehow she went down a really steep embankment and her bike went out of control and her mom couldn't catch her, and she went flying off her bike and hit her head. And she had a helmet on, thank God, but like it dented up her helmet and really, really stunned her. She still had a pretty big knot from where like the helmet kind of did an impact on her head. And so in that situation, you definitely want frankincense and Immortelle. And so that's why frankincense is there. Frankincense is also really good for tissue. And when I had the hornet incident, I did the lemon, lavender, and peppermint, but I also threw some frankincense under my tongue too. Because it never hurts to add a little frankincense when you're in any kind of emergency situation. Okay, so these are lots. I know it's a lot of information. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Because we still have a couple of minutes here, and then before we close out, I will let you know how you can get some oils if you're a guest. If you are a guest, if somebody invited you to watch this video and you don't have a doTERRA wholesale membership, please comment below and tag the person that invited you, or just name them and say, hey, I'm a guest of so-and-so, so they can know that you came. And that way they can connect with you and find out if you had any other questions, because they are your person. That's the person that is going to help you to get started with doTERRA. And I'm going to tell you some really awesome promos that doTERRA has here in just a second. I'm just trying to make sure I haven't missed any questions. Sorry about my finger there. I think I pretty much got it. Yeah. Like Stacy was saying, she got 2 of the kits so she would have the extra bag. Exactly. The bag is amazing, and I'm really glad that it's perfect to throw in your backpack or in your suitcase. Would you bring cedarwood? I don't bring cedarwood with me. I bring it when I travel because it's really good to spray on bed sheets for like bed bugs and stuff. But there's cedarwood in TerraShield already, and so I feel pretty comfortable with it as, you know, as an insect repellent. I'm assuming that's why you're asking that. So, no, I mean, if you want to put extra cedarwood on, cedarwood really is like the tick oil. So if that makes you feel more comfortable, sure, bring some cedarwood. We do keep it in our car for that reason, especially if we're in like the really deep woods. We might put a little extra cedarwood on, but it's just not one that I definitely would always carry with me. That's a good question though. I like that there is cedarwood in the TerraShield blend already. Okay, so here's how you get your oils. So I'm gonna post a link in the title of my video. As soon as we're done, I can go in and edit the title. I'm gonna put a link to the starter kits. A starter kit is how you get started in doTERRA, okay? That's why it's called a starter kit. And the reason you want a starter kit is it's going to give you at least 10 basic oils. You won't have all the ones I mentioned, but you'll have a bunch of the ones that I just mentioned in any starter kit. And then of course, if you get a larger kit, you'll have all of these. There's a kit called the Every Oil Kit. You can get every single oil. You can definitely be prepared for anything. But wherever you start, just base that on the size of your budget, the size of your family. And I'll post a link to the starter kit so you can check them out. So you want to choose your starter kit, and then what you want to do is contact the person that invited you to watch the video, because they are going to be the best person to help you set up your membership. They probably have some special promos going on that are just for their customers. And then doTERRA has this really awesome promo, and it's only going on through the end of May. It's if you choose a starter kit in May, doTERRA will not only give you a free wholesale membership, which they always do with the starter kit, but they'll give you $50 in the free oils of your choice. So once those points are placed in your account, then the person that helped enroll you will teach you how to cash in those points, and you can choose $50 in free oils. And that's pretty awesome. So also, if you share doTERRA with somebody and you're their enroller and you help them get their starter kit by May 31st, you also get a $50 in free oils. So that's pretty cool, because it's encouraging you to go ahead and pay it forward and share. So it's pretty neat that you're able to both get the $50 in free oils, but it's time is running out till the end of May. So make sure that you talk to the person that invited you to come to the video so that you can get your free $50 and they can get their free $50 too. So there's no limit on the number of people you can enroll in the month of May to get your $50 for referring. So you can use that to really stock up on some of the awesome oils, like some of the ones that are more pricey that you really need to have on hand for emergencies, like Helichrysum and Immortelle, for example. That's what you would do, is you would use those $50 in free points to stock up on those types of things. Okay, so so step one, when the video is over, you're going to check out my link and find your starter kit. Then you're going to connect with the person that invited you to watch the video. They're going to help you set up your membership, and then the next thing you want to do is get plugged in. Get plugged into whatever education that they have for you. If you're on my team, we have weekly phone calls on Monday nights. We have this Facebook Live every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. And we also have a secret Facebook page where you can be added and you can ask questions from other essential oil users. And you can figure out what to do in situations that they've probably already experienced before. There's really nothing that new that's probably somebody else has never experienced. And so you'll get a lot of information by learning from other people. I hope that you've learned something new tonight. If you have, I would love for you to share this video. I think there's a lot of information in here that can help people in emergencies. And so I would love for you to share the video, and feel free to like make a little comment to say like, hey, if you're interested in doTERRA, contact me, so that they'll contact you instead of me. Of course, I'm saying that on the video too, so that's helpful. But you feel free to share the video for informational purposes. If you are my personal guest, meaning that you're not working with another doTERRA wellness advocate and you don't have a wholesale membership to doTERRA, I would like to ask you to, I would like to invite you to join my special VIP group on Facebook. And there's even more promos and specials going on that are just for my customers. And so if you want to join, you go to facebook.com/groups/oil shares VIP and send me a request. I'll check it out and make sure that you are qualified to be in that group, and then I'll throw you in there, and there's some really, really awesome specials going on through the end of May. So thanks for being here tonight. I will see you back here. Probably won't be on much tomorrow because of the holiday, but on weekdays we're back at 1 o'clock 1 Eastern time for a short oil a day video, and then next Sunday 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night. Happy holiday.